I decided to challenge myself this year and finish one item from each makeup category or beauty category. I decided not just challenge myself, but do it in a finish 25 in 2025. So I wrote down 25 categories, and then I wrote down my predictions, products that I predict will be the ones that I will use up in each category. This does not mean those are the ones I'll finish first in each category. I'm not restricted to strictly use these till they're used up. I just thought it would be fun if I write my predictions, then later on in the year actually reflect and go back and look and see what products did I actually use up first in each categories, and did it match up to my predictions. So although I wrote these down, it's not one of those projects where I'm solely focusing on these products to use up. I just want to organically use what I have, and then as I use products up, come in and pencil down whenever I've used up one from each category. I will also be doing this in a get ready with me style as I go over each category. One that I want to get out of the way, as I talk about it, I'll just mark it off so I don't forget any category. There could be much more to these, but I decided to limit it, pare it down to 25. Use up 25 in 2025. First category that I want to talk about is nail polish. When I thought about this and I looked at the nail polishes I have, I don't think I'll be using up any this year. I do paint my nails. This is the one I'm wearing, Zoya Neely, Neely. I do paint my nails. I enjoy painting my nails. I don't do it regularly. I have periods where I paint my nails once a week and periods when I paint it once every 2-3 months. Just depends time and if I feel like it. So instead of choosing an actual colored nail polish, I decided that I will choose my top coat, base coat. This is one I recently opened in December. This is the oily top to bottom coat. It's a combination base and top coat. I used to use a separate product for my top coat and a separate base coat, but then while painting my nails, I use one for the other, and just to simplify things, years ago I started using this one, and this is what I use. The same product for my base and top coat. So I'm predicting this will be the one I'll use up first, since each time I paint my nails, this is the constant. As I go, instead of calling out the numbers, I'll just put it on the screen so you know what number. But nail polish was number 25, but in this video I'll put it number 1 since it's the first one I addressed. Face primer. I have 2 or 3 products that I can use as a face primer, but the one I predicted I will use up first is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder in Universal. This is what it looks like. I'm going to use this today, but I will address sunscreen first, and then I'll apply that. For sunscreen, I could have predicted the Beauty of Joseon, but I just recently used up one yesterday, and I thought we're in 2025, I could have reached that goal, used up one, but I want to challenge myself, so I'm opening a new one, but this is not my predicted use up sunscreen. Although I know I probably will use this up this year, I'm predicting that I'll use up the Chantecaille SPF 45 primer first, but today I'm going to use this one. Why? It's because when I use this one and decide to apply another layer, something primer wise, I usually pair it with the blurring balm powder. But when I decide to use the Chantecaille sunscreen, since it's also a primer, I use it for both. But I usually pair these two. And since I'm going to be using this today, I will open up the Beauty of Joseon and use it. For the category of lip balm, lip gloss, lip oil, I chose the Lisa Eldridge Gloss Embrace. Yes, Gloss Embrace in Sorcery. I had to go look up some of these products and write down the actual names, because for this, it doesn't say what it is. I just know it's a gloss, but the brand actually labels it or titles it Gloss Embrace. This one is in Sorcery. I need to moisturize my lips. There's some glosses that are in my rolling project pan that I think I'll use up first. But since I have little of, there's a particular gloss I'm thinking of, I have little of it. And if I really focus, I can use it up in a month. But again, challenging myself, I decided to pick this one. Moving on to the eyes. For eye primer, today I'm going to use the CoverGirl Lid Cover Up, Lid Lock Up. The name wiped off. But I'm predicting that I'll use up this one actually. Pat McGrath Intensifies Artistry Wand. I have a backup of this, so I have this in my everyday basket as a visual reminder to use it up. Next, for cream eyeshadow, I pulled out the Lisa Eldridge Liquid Lorax in Titania. I've had this for a long time and I haven't used this in a while, and I need to. This is one of my favorite shades from the Liquid Lorax line. My top two are Titania and Diana. Really enjoy them. Love how they look on my lid and against my complexion. So this is my prediction for cream eyeshadow. For eyeshadow palette, this is my rolling project pan, and since my last update in December, I haven't touched this. So I'm okay showing it to you because there's no spoiler. I haven't touched it. And this is my prediction for the first eyeshadow palette I will use up this year. I'm going to attempt to use a lot of the products I selected for each category. So we'll figure out how this will play in with this eye look. Probably a lot of layering. I'm going to take this shade here just a little bit closer to my lash line and outer corner. I'm going to take a little bit of this one and lightly apply on top. There'll be lots of shiftiness to this look. So that is it for my prediction, eyeshadow palette prediction. I decided to also add eyeshadow single. This is not officially a single, not this, but this one. because it came from a palette that I depanned, Natasha Denona Industrial. It came from the Mini Retro, one of my top favorite silvery shade in my beauty capsule. I love this so much that I actually have another Mini Retro palette, mainly for the shade. So since I have that, I need to work on using this one. I've used a majority of this, probably half of this pan I've used, but I need to get it to the finish line. I have this here as a reminder to use it, but this whole shadow fell out and I still love the shade, so I kept this since there's coating of the shadow, and once in a while I use it as a topper. But this is the shadow that I'll be focusing on, the industrial shadow, as the shadow, the single shadow that I predict to use up this year. I've been really enjoying, I don't think it ever left, the whole layering shadows and custom creating a shade. So this is what it looks like. I look washed out. Maybe that's better. This is what it's looking like, and I like it. I had to go in gently with each one, knowing that I'm layering all these shadows, but normally I layer certain shadows. I pre-plan which ones I'm layering, but these that I just layered, although beautiful, most of the time when I wear these particular shades, I'm wearing them on their own, or maybe them and one more shadow if I decide to layer. Eyeliner. When I chose the one that I'm predicting I'll use up first, I pondered whose idea was to add this category into this project. I thought about not including an eyeliner because it's not a product I use a lot, which means I shouldn't have as much as I do have, or I should make it a point to use them. I went between my Victoria Beckham Satin Kaujal liners and the Chantecaille Lusted Glide pencils, and I decided on Chantecaille. There's Raven, which is a black one that I considered, but I went with Earth, which is a brown. It's my prediction, we shall see. I'm going to use it just to deepen the top outer lid and my lower waterline. It made this look a bit darker, smokier. I'm just using my finger to diffuse the shade. I can use a brush too, but here I am. The shade I use the most is Slate, which is like a gunmetal. So this is my predicted eyeliner to use up this year. Liquid eyeliner. This should be an easy one. I've had this. I opened it sometime last year or in 2023. It's the Lisa Eldridge Kitten Flick Liquid Eyeliner. One of the reasons I also think this would be an easy one is I only have one liquid liner open at a time. Sometimes if I have two, it's because one is about to be done and I opened the second one, but still using the first one at the same time. I think the other time, if I had to open, would be 2 different shades. But I do my best not to have 2 of the same color open. Mascara. Although in the past I have had more than 1, 2. I've had 3 to 5 mascaras open at one time. And that's not something I strive for. That's not what I want to do. I don't always do so. Most of the time, I have 1 or 2 at a time. Sometimes it's layering, or maybe I'm not pleased with the one I have, so I open another one. But try not to waste the one I don't like. I just layer. But I think last year I had 4 open at a time, and I layered them a lot. But I don't want to keep doing that. I try to have 1 open at a time, especially 1 of each color. So currently I have a brown and a black, and I predict I will use up this black one this year. Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerate Volume Mascara. Most mascaras, if I remember, has 6 months period after opening, and I have had mascaras that I use past the 6 months. If there are no causes for concern while I'm using the product, I just keep using it, especially if it's a product that I really enjoy. That happened with me with Pat McGrath Labs Dark Star Mascara in 2023, early 2024, I think. But I remember that mascara, using it, and it was way past 6 months, but I was enjoying it, so I kept using it. Done with my eye look for now. I may apply an inner corner shade later, but I'm gonna move on to base. I have a category for skin tint and foundation, and I selected the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Enhancing Tint. My shade is in T13. I'm going to shake it up, then I'll be right back. If you've watched me for a while, you know that I usually don't go for the full coverage makeup look. I just do a light coverage just for that nice uniformed, slightly uniformed look to my complexion. So this will be interesting, trying to use this up, since I don't use base products like this, like skin tint and foundation, on a regular basis. I just apply sunscreen, spot, conceal, and then apply a powder, which I should remind myself of in the future whenever I see a foundation or skin tint that I want to buy. That, hey, you don't use this as regularly as you should to warrant purchasing it. I do want my end goal, my beauty capsule goal is to have just 1 foundation and 1 skin tint. Perhaps just a skin tint and a concealer to spot conceal certain areas. But the amount of foundation I have, I should not have. I should not. But this is the skin tint I predict I'll use up this year. For concealer, I don't know. I decided to choose one of the oldest ones I have. Is the Clé de Peau Concealer SPF 27. Shade is 11 Cocoa. This is practically my skin tone. I haven't been reaching for this. I want to, I need to, but this is the one I predict, especially since it's not a brightening shade for my under eye, which I'll apply it right now. It's literally my skin tone. And lately I've been enjoying a slightly brighter under eye area. So some of my concealers I mix with lighter ones to get the look that I want. This one is the one I predict using up this year, because I could not only mix it and use it for my under eye, but I can also use it to cover up certain hyperpigmentation on my face, which means hopefully I use it up faster. So that's my concealer prediction, but I'm going to add, just for my under eye, mix it with it, the CL Conceal and Protect SPF 50 in 14W. I'm going to blend out the spots first and then do my under eye. My makeup application aesthetics might change in the future, which is perfectly fine, but currently my preferred way of applying my makeup is perhaps a skin tint or just sunscreen, then spot conceal to give that uniformed look to my complexion, and then apply the rest of my makeup, bronzer, blush, highlighter if I choose to. But base wise, I love that lightweight, effortless look to my complexion and skin like. So I'm going to mix this and blend it. And I'm not sure if you can see if it's translating on camera, but the two balance each other out. The CL is the lightest concealer I have in my beauty capsule. It's nice to mix it with this Clé de Peau concealer, especially for my under eye, so it's brightening. Normally I would not layer a lot of these together, but just because I want to demo in the matter of Get Ready With Me all these products, the steps that I would take to apply them for this video will be different from my usual steps, because I don't usually use all these at once. So for powder, this is my go-to, my By Terry Hyaluronic Hydro Powder in colorless, and I'll use this lightly, my T-zone. Normally I might apply it all over, but since I have the foundation category, I did the skin tint all over. And for foundation, I got nervous because I thought liquid foundation, and then when I was trying to choose which one, I thought, oh, I forgot, I have this powder foundation from Fenty. This is also in my rolling project pan. There's no spoiler, I'll show you. It looks the same as my last update in December. I've used it maybe once or twice since then, so I'm okay showing you what it looks like. But I'm going to apply it lightly where I did not apply the Eyeshadow powder. And as you can see, I'm not really looking for coverage. I'm just slightly mattifying and applying that extra layer. But as you can see, I did not apply both powders right on top of each other, layering. And I'm going out after this. So this is the way I would, if I were to use all 25, this is the way I will layer it, so I still have that preferred skin-like look to my complexion. So the Fenty Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation, powder foundation, is my predicted foundation that I will use up this year. Lord have mercy. I feel like this is a hard assignment, applying all these at once, but this is what my skin is looking like so far. We're going to go in with bronzer, blush, highlight. I have a cream category and a powder category on blush, bronzer, highlight. I will do my best to figure it out for this video. But for my cream, blush, bronzer, and highlight, I chose these. This, I feel like, this is the Amicole Desert Date multi-stick, cream multi-stick in June. This is also in my rolling project pan. I have used it a few times since my update in December, and the more I use it, since then, I either use this one or Dennis Samirex Blur Balm Flushed. Each time I've used this, I thought to myself, this is beautiful. Why haven't you been using it? But this is the cream blush I predicted I will use up this year. I really want to use it as much as I can before it goes bad. And then this I've had for a long time. Balm Beauty Double Take Sculpt and Strobe Dual Stick in Bronze Venus. The dome is almost gone on each side, but they were domed initially when I purchased them. But these are the 3 cream products that I predicted I'll use up this year for my bronzer, highlight, blush. So I'm going to go ahead and apply these. I'll do the bronzer first, then blush, then highlight. For the powders, I pulled out 2 products. I have the Glowish bronzer that's in my rolling project pan. I have Major Pan in it. I thought probably going to use that up first this year, but again, trying to challenge myself, I decided to pull out this bronzer instead, the House Labs Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer in Deep Level 9. I also have a backup of this bronzer, so I thought, why not work on this one and predict this one for the one I will use up this year. And then for my powder, blush, and highlight, I decided to there is no way I am panning and using up a highlighter with the amount that I have. But in the past, I have used up a powder highlighter by scraping some in my sun protection or lotion during the summer, specifically summer season because of wearing more short sleeve tank top, shorts. Just during the summer, more skin is exposed, so applying those products on my exposed skin, I add some shimmer to it for that shimmery, healthy looking bronze goddess during the summer, glowing with the sun. And that's how I've used up a lot of my powder highlighters in the past. I decided to pull out this Suku Pure Color Blush 145. I thought if they're together, I'm more likely to actually work on them. A powder and a powder, blush, and powder highlighter. So I'll go into this bronzer, and again lightly because I'm applying, there's so much more than usual to my base. Lightly, and then the blush from this duo, lightly as well. This is beautiful. With a small brush, apply it to my inner corner. It's not really a super shimmery blinding highlighter, so it's not going to be as brightening for my inner corners, but it's there. I might use something else for my inner corners. I love this eye look. I feel like the tones, the shades are melding together and they're doing their thing, chameleon-like. For my brows, I intentionally did not select a brow powder or a brow pencil because I don't have a specific labeled or set eyebrow product color related. I use eyeshadow for my brow powder, so I did not make a category for that. I'm just going to fill my brows with an eyeshadow. The eyeshadow I used was Extreme Dusk from Mothership 6 Midnight Sun. I may actually the gold might be too warm tone for this look. Do I want to mix? I'm going to take Skin Show Moon Glow from Midnight Sun. It's not part of this project, but just to brighten the inner corners a little bit more. Yeah. And this look is a neutral, cool leading eye look with all the mixed shades. So this Skin Tone or Skin Show, Skin Show Moon Glow, this shade plays well with this eye look. Works just perfectly. I did add a category for eyebrow gel, and I predict it will be the e.l.f. brow laminating gel, and it's the only brow gel I have open, so it's the one I'm predicting. I do have a Sephora brow gel that I have in my backup drawer, but I usually, this is a category that I only have one open at a time. So this is my predicted product to use up in this category. Although there was a lot applied, a lot for me. I like how everything looks and work together on my complexion. I'm grateful that I kept that in mind while I was applying, so that it does not look too heavy. It still looks, at least to me, it still looks skin-like, and I like that. The last few categories, okay, I've done eyebrows. I'm marking it off as I go so I don't forget anything. My lips and setting facial spray. My lips, I've already discussed the lip gloss, lip balm, lip oil category. It's still on the Lisa Eldridge Gloss Embrace in Sorcery. So I'll leave it as is, but my predicted lip liner for this year is the Lisa Eldridge Sculpt and Shade lip pencil in 3N. I cannot talk. In 3N. I purchased one of these, the shade, and the brand gifted me one. So I have two of the 3Ns. I actually love this tone. Sometimes if I have duplicate of a product, perhaps I purchased one and the brand sent me one, or maybe they sent me two of the same thing. If it's a product I really enjoy and feel like I will use this up and go to the next one, I usually keep it. But if it's a product that perhaps I love it, but I don't see myself using it up quickly, or maybe I enjoy it, but it's not something I will repurchase, I usually pass one on to someone else. And sometimes it might be a product that by the time I use up one, the other one would have expired, so I might as well give it to someone else to use so it's not wasted. I really do enjoy this tone, so I kept both, and because I have two, I will focus on this one. And then for the lipstick, this is also in my rolling project pan. Charlotte Tilbury Matte Revolution lipstick in Pillow Talk medium. This is my oldest lipstick. I have used it maybe once since the last update in December, so there's no spoilers here. It looks exactly the same to me, at least. And this is the lipstick that I'm predicting will be used up first in this category. The last category is setting spray, facial spray. This is not a setting spray. It's a hydrating facial spray. Lately, my setting spray, which is the Charlotte Tilbury spray, I haven't been using it regularly. I've been going for that glowy, hydrated look to my complexion, and sometimes when I use it, I'm also just mixing different ones. Like yesterday I actually sprayed this one, the Chantecaille Pure Rose Water, sprayed the Charlotte Tilbury, and sprayed the Caudalie Beauty Elixir. Not like douse my skin, but spritz, and then spritz. Whatever it was that all three could do for me, they worked well, and I loved how my skin looked throughout the day. I decided to predict this particular one because I have backups of this rose water, and lately I use this one much more than the other ones when I'm doing my skincare throughout the day. When I feel like, you know what, I want to spritz my face, I use this one. It's a nice mister too. The face Fuse Up 25 in 2025. Get Ready With Me style. I'm satisfied with how everything turned out, melded together. Even though I knew this, I guess actually putting it in motion, in action, no matter how much product you use, I feel like the technique that you use, the application, product placement plays a part on the outcome at the end, and I'm pleased with how it turned out. And again, all these that I used today are just my predicted ones that I think I'll use up in each category this year. It may not be the final one that I actually achieved the goal with, but thought it would be nice in the future to come back and update on how I'm doing and which ones I've actually accomplished. This is the final look. Hair down, jewelry's on. That's what it looks like. This is a Islay, New York earring, and then this is Ana Luisa, and then my usual. I don't recall where these rings are from. I think Ana Luisa or somewhere else, I'm not sure, but have these, and that is it. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, and while you're here, if you have not subscribed, I would love for you to consider subscribing. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in my next video.